everybody, my name is Myra, this is Muse, and you are welcome to my channel. Duh. So today I am coming at you with a book tag. Is this recording? So I am coming at you with not a book tag, just a tag, although it's kind of a book tag. It is the anything but books book tag. Just tag. Okay, let's move on. So anyway, this is a tag that has been going around the booktube community, and it was created by Rita Rod. I was not tagged by anybody, but technically everybody, because everybody's like, hey, if I didn't name you, if you want to do it, just do it. So you're tagged. And so I'm taking that to heart, and I'm just doing it because I really want to, and because it's been a while since I've done more of a personal type of video where you get to know me a little better, or where I get to just talk about myself. By the way, I haven't actually gone through the questions thoroughly, so I'm just gonna wing it and see how this turns out. Okay, so the first question says, name a cartoon or cartoons that you love. So I don't watch a lot of cartoons currently, but if there is one that I tend to go back to is Heidi, the girl who lived in the mountains. Everybody that I ask, nobody really knows what this cartoon is, and it is one of my favorite childhood cartoons. It's about this little girl who was an orphan, and she lived with her aunt, and then her aunt had to work in the city, and then she took Heidi up to the mountains to live with her grandfather, who had this mean old man kind of reputation. And anyway, Heidi goes to live with them, and it's just the story of her living with her grandfather and with her friend Pedro, who took care of their goats. And it's just Heidi being the adorable little girl she is and living with her grandpa. It was one of my all-time favorite cartoons since I was a little kid. I believe it's originally Japanese, and they translated into Spanish, and so when I lived in Mexico I used to watch it a lot, and now I find it on YouTube as well, so it's there, and it's just as enduring and as enchanting and nostalgic as it always been. And so I would say this is one because that's the one I just keep thinking about, and makes me happy and smile. Now question number 2 says, what is your favorite song right now? I rediscovered a song that I loved, and that it's one of my favorites, and that I forgot I did, and I just listened to it yesterday, and it just brought it all back, and that is This Is My Song by Mindy Hill. She is a more indie type of artist, and I love all her music. It makes me feel really happy inside all the time, and the story is it's so beautiful, and it's so lyrical, and it makes me so happy. It has a lot of la-las, and so it reminds me a lot of the Gilmore Girls as well, but it also has a somewhat sad theme throughout it, but it's still very beautiful. It's so nice. Okay, moving on to question number 3 says, what could you do for hours that isn't reading? First of all, I can't read for hours. My attention span is just not that great. But something that I could do for hours, sleep. I sleep about 6 to 7 hours a day. Does that count? Oh, I know. I have said this in the past and I totally forgot. But it does have to do with books, but it's not reading them. You could drop me off at a bookstore and I'll be there for hours. And I don't necessarily buy them. I just like to go and walk around and smell the books. And they always have that really neat stationery, and so I always like to go and look through it, and maybe I'll buy something, maybe not. But that is one thing that I can do for hours. That has happened. I have timed it. So yes, that's my answer. It still has to do a little bit with books, but not really. Other than that, I guess it's just watch SVU. Question number 4 is, what is something you love to do that your followers would be surprised by? I don't think there's anything that I would do that my followers would be surprised by. I think everything that I love is pretty much out there. And I might have talked about this, maybe not, but I do love the Asian culture, and I was into Korean dramas for a very long time, and so that is still one thing that is very close to my heart. I love the Korean drama fandom and everything that has to do with it. I haven't watched them in a long time, but if you put me there, I'm all over it, and I love it. So maybe that's one. Maybe. Question number 5 says, what is your favorite unnecessarily specific thing to learn about? This can do with books, I guess. Unnecessarily specific thing, I think right now, I go in phases, and I go on different stages of life, and I think right now I really enjoy going online and looking up different ways to write letters. So I think it has to do with the fact that I'm trying to better my handwriting, and there are specific letters that I really don't like how I write them, and so I go online, I type in the letter, and then I go on the photo search, and then there's like all different sorts of styles of how to write a specific letter. So I've been into that lately. Question number 6 says, what is something unusual you know how to do? Unusual that I know how to do, I know how to make really awkward conversation points. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if this is necessarily unusual, but I do know how to crochet and I do know how to knit. I don't do it often, but I do know how, and I also know how to embroider, and I know how to do some sewing. Not a whole bunch, but I do know some. I used to like make my Barbie clothes when I was a little girl, so maybe that was unusual for my age when I was 5 years old and like sewing together my Barbie clothes. And other than that, I'm not very interesting. Question number 7 says, name something you made in the last year and show us if you can. Something that I made in the last year, hold on. Okay, so I started like upping my game when it comes to my journaling, and this is stuff that I'm really proud of, and that's my cover pages for my months. And I started, I think on, was it on March? I think I did, and so I started being a lot more crafty, and so I started working to make my cover pages a lot nicer than they usually are, and so I'm really proud of that. So just my cover pages for my months. I know it's not exciting at all, but it's something that I am fascinated by and really happy about. This was the one for my April, yes, April, and then my one for my May is this one, and I did not do that. I print out and I just like wrote and stuff on it, but I'm really proud of this stuff. I am really happy with the progress and my game on my journaling nowadays, because I've been doing really well. So anyway, I'm really proud about that. Question number 8 says, what is your most recent personal project? I kind of said my journal thing, you know. My most recent personal project, well, I guess this is a work in progress, but just my room decor. I know I don't have a lot yet, but I am working on getting wall decorations and paintings and portraits and stuff like that, and just wall decor all together and kind of get my room together. And I've made great progress because all the stuff I had to like buy and put together. I have a bookshelf now, and I was really happy about that, and I have had it just barely like a couple of months back. So that my room is probably the last project I've been working on, because it's still a work in progress, and I'm really happy about it so far. Question number 9 says, tell us something you think about often, maybe while staring out of windows. So I am that one person that always has those existential thoughts, especially when looking out of windows. My job, it's like this tall building, and there's like this big windows, like size of the wall almost, and sometimes like I walk by them and I just stare out for like 2 minutes, and I think about the meaning of life and about my own life, and I start just contemplating on just life, and I think about the future and what I'm gonna do, and sometimes I do think about my pets. My cats are adorable, but mostly about just life in general and where my life is heading and where I'm going next, and just what am I doing with my life. And question number 10 says, give us something that's your favorite, but make it something oddly specific, not like your favorite food, but like your favorite food when you've been studying for hours and forgot to eat, or you know, something like that. Okay, I have one that's gonna be kind of gross but really satisfying to me personally. You know how you exfoliate your face, and sometimes I don't take care of my exfoliation, and so when it's been like a hot minute since I exfoliated the last time, I'm kind of like excited to exfoliate my face, because I know I'm gonna have a whole bunch of just gunk coming out of my face. And so I usually use a peel gel thingy, and I just rub and rub and rub, and I get so excited when I start feeling the crumbly things on my face. It's just like, you know, all that dead skin stuff, and then my lips and on just my face, and it's just something that I find so satisfying. And oh my gosh, it's so I know it's disgusting, but it's something that I just find so freaking satisfying. So good. And then last, I guess the bonus, it's say the first thing that pops into your head. Specks. Not the alcohol place. I closed my eyes and I saw little specks, and that's what I thought about, because it was the first thing that popped into my head, because I closed my eyes and there were specks. And Should I say a doctor? I don't know. So anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you learned a little bit something more about me. It's in this type of tag where it asks you this type of questions where you realize how uninteresting you really are. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and leave a comment down below if you have any weird specific interests, you know, that are a lot more interested than mine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. This was Muse, and I will see you next time. Bye.